Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the 60 Podcast. I'm your host, Walker.
What up? It's Jordan. What's going on?
We're going to talk to you about some little college football. I usually say little college, little NFL, but today, unfortunately, we're going to cut the NFL segment. Just being transparent with all my viewers out there. I was actually busy Thanksgiving Day and on all day Sunday and Monday night, and I was unable to watch any of the games this week. So I figured to give you guys the best product, maybe we should wait until next week.
I agree.
Also, this video is sponsored by Mango White Claws. They're delicious.
I agree with that.
Just the mango ones.
Yeah, we only got mango. We're trying to get the wild berry.
We're broke boys. I don't think wild berry is a flavor.
I don't know, but we don't. Drink.
I don't know either.
we don't drink on the 6
It's not a flavor.
But let's just get straight to it. I want to start out with this crazy week of college football. It's gonna be crazy next week, but this isn't about the games. I think the craziest part is not about the games. Two things: Lincoln Riley shocking the world and going to USC. Everyone thought he was going to LSU. After the Oklahoma State game, he said, "I'm not going to be the coach of LSU." He wasn't lying. Goes to USC the next day.
Yeah.
Kelly from Notre Dame going to LSU. What are we thinking about those two hires? Good hires? Are it good fits? What are we thinking here? What do we think about them leaving? And just, I guess, everything with that.
I think they're both good hires, to be honest. And I think in both of those situations, it's kind of like, I don't know, people are getting upset, I guess, especially I think Brian Kelly leaving, But I think, if anyone ever drops the bag on you, you do the same thing. So imagine if you were in that position. They offered to give you $1 gazillion and buy you a $6 million mansion in LA or something like that. You're going to take that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry, getting ahead of myself. But yeah, I think they're both good hires, to be honest. I don't know how, the SEC is just a whole nother beast. I feel like, at least for Brian Kelly. And having Alabama, you got to play them every single year. They're in your same division of your same conference, so that'll be tough for him. But I think Lincoln Riley made a solid move. I think with the the dissolving of their current conference, Oklahoma moving to the SEC in a few years, he's probably running from all that jazz. And honestly, I don't know. I think he could start pulling some pretty big recruits and get USC back on the map. So that's about how I feel.
Yeah, I was going to mention the same thing about Lincoln running from the SEC because apparently he wasn't a fan of Oklahoma going in the first place. Then going to go to LSU. No, I just find that crazy because there was just LSU rumors all over the place. You didn't really hear too much about USC. You didn't really hear too much about USC in their little coaching search in general, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it just came out of left field. But like you said, I like it. From the USC standpoint, you got to get that big hire. You need that LA clout. USC's been terrible for years. It's time to get some excitement back in LA and everything. From Lincoln Riley's standpoint, I think he just kind of left because, like I said, he didn't really like the SEC move and everything. Not to mention LA, California recruiting, especially with NIL and everything, and that LA clout gonna be pretty crazy. USC should be back. Brian Kelly.
How many years do you think? Sorry, before we move on to Brian Kelly, like what's the timeline you think before he gets his guys in there, he implements his scheme, you know what I mean? Like how long do you think it'll take before USC
bring up too with that? Because this is kind of like our first little kind of look at when a big coach is going to another school. How many players are going to follow him to Oklahoma? We've already seen it seems like half the team of Oklahoma is entering the transfer portal. Half the recruits are decommitting. They just had a 2023 quarterback decommit, 5-star quarterback decommit from Oklahoma, and then 2 days later commit to USC. We got Spencer Rattler in the portal. We got Jaden Hazelwood in the portal. People think Caleb Williams is going to enter the portal. They got, I think, Theo Weiss, another wide receiver for Oklahoma, enter the portal. And so it'll be interesting to see how many players kind of follow Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly to these schools and everything with that. So who knows? It might honestly take next year if he goes in and get like a Caleb Williams or something, because USC had talent in the first place. It's just they didn't have much depth and their line sucks. So who knows? Like it might take a year or two, to be honest, at least from Lincoln Riley. But oops, I dropped a pen. But there's all these players that are kind of salty about like, them leaving and everything, and calling Lincoln Riley at least like Kevin Durant and everything. And I mean,
what would you do?
yeah, they bought both of his houses, and then they bought him a house in LA.
And they just, like I said, I mean, I think someone pointed out, Brian Kelly said in an interview, I think his words were something like, unless the fairy godmother drops like a $200 million check or something, I will remain at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. The purple and yellow or purple and gold fairy godmother came and dropped the bag. So he's leaving. You do the same thing. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. I think mostly people are salty about like, you're in a good situation now. Why are you leaving that good situation kind of thing? So
money.
But you see the little thing about Brian Kelly, like how he kind of handled it, I guess, with his players or whatever.
Yeah, he called like a 7 a.m. meeting or something.
A little group message or whatever, and then like his speech like leaked, and it wasn't too great. But yeah, those things are always awkward. That's why I think like at least with like the portal, I think it's fine if players get immediate eligibility if they're like, if a coach gets fired or a coach leaves or anything. So it'd be interesting to see who Oklahoma gets. Notre Dame, breaking news in the pod, just promoted their DC to head coach. Like literally,
Okay.
So,
is that interim head coach or is that like the real deal?
No, yeah, he's the real deal. Yeah, he's the head coach now.
Okay.
But something with that too that I found very stupid is that the committee said they're going to put it, because what if Notre Dame makes the playoffs, right? Brian Kelly's not going to be the coach there. So that'd be weird. But
is he like done effective immediately? Like
yeah,
he's not there right now.
You have to nowadays because of early signing day being in December.
Yeah.
And you got to go out there and start recruiting and everything. So, and usually coaches do that in the first place, but that'd be weird if Notre Dame made it. But the committee said like, oh, we're gonna put in in consideration that Brian Kelly isn't the coach or anything anymore, which sucks for the players. What the hell? They get screwed because their coach bails. Like, yeah, but I think the most interesting thing to just see like the portal and everything, to see how many players follow those coaches and all that kind of stuff. I think the most interesting thing, but the Lincoln Riley thing was just totally out of left field. But I agree, two good hires. It is Brian Kelly. I mean, he's the winning coach in Notre Dame history, so that's got to count for something. And I feel like it's probably a little easier to recruit at LSU than like Notre Dame, to be honest. I don't know. That's how I
think. Say that. I feel like Notre Dame always gets good recruits.
They get good recruits, but I feel like they're not like, they don't get like elite, if that makes sense. True. But LSU
they've been playing too much.
Good recruiting classes, or really good to elite recruiting classes, and I'm telling you that SEC clout always there. So I don't know. It's just crazy, and I think USC will be fine. Go run up the Pac-12 and get easy playoff appearances and everything. So it's crazy, but kind of segueing into the committee and everything. New rankings, our last rankings until the final rankings.
Let's go.
You don't know what they are, so we're going to tell you. Starting at 25, we got Texas A&M, who just lost LSU. What a bad loss there.
Yeah, that's not great.
Then we got Louisiana at 24, who, speaking of Louisiana, their coach, Billy Napier, to Florida. So that's interesting. Then we got Kentucky at 23. We got Arkansas at 22. We got Houston at 21, who I said is big for Cincinnati. We got Clemson at 20. So how about Clemson finishing with what? What did they end up? 9 wins. They could get 10 wins. They win their bowl game. In the down.
Not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. They kind of turned that around.
For sure.
Good for them on that one. We got San Diego State at 19. We got NC State at 18. We got Utah at 17. We got Wake at 16. Pitt at 15. We got Oklahoma at 14. Got Iowa 13. BYU 12. Sparty 11. Oregon 10. We got Baylor at 9. Ole Miss 8. 7 Ohio State. Then going to the top 6, we got Georgia at 1, Michigan 2, which I agree with.
Ooh.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I probably would have put Bama, spoiler alert, Bama 3. I probably would have put Bama 2 if they just like handled business against Auburn, but that was a game. A very ugly game there. Then Cincinnati 4, Oklahoma State 5, Notre Dame 6. So what's the reaction? You like it, you hate it.
I feel like I like it again. It's solid. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, Oklahoma State and Notre Dame, like you could probably flip-flop them, but whatever. I do like it. Like I said, I mean, a lot's going to depend on the outcome of the Georgia-Bama game too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like, I don't know. Like if Bama loses, they're out. So I don't know. I like to see what's going to happen there. But I do think Georgia's the only one who is absolutely locked in right now.
I agree. I think Georgia's
unless we lose, we would have to lose like pitifully. Like we'd have to lose like 60-0 for them to drop us out.
And here's my thing with that one. That's stupid because Notre Dame got killed last year by Clemson and they still stayed in. So that pissed me off a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But I like it too. I mean, I would have made the top 6 exactly what it is. We'll see if they try to screw over Cincinnati in the last week. If like Oklahoma State were, let's just say Bama beats Georgia, they're both in, Michigan wins their end. And between like Cincinnati and Oklahoma State would have just beat Baylor. Would they screw Cincinnati? I'll be honest, I don't know. I don't know. I just know there's going to be outrage if Cincinnati doesn't get in, assuming they beat Houston.
Right.
Michigan deserved to go up to 2. They finally beat Ohio State. About time with that one, but that was a crazy game. I don't know.
They look pretty good doing it too.
It looked pretty good. The Hutchinson and that one other DM balled out. That running back was insane.
Yeah, that was the first time I'd seen Hutchinson really play. You know, I'm a big NFL draft guy, even though I really haven't, or for those who don't know, I'm a big NFL draft guy. I usually don't get into it until a little later in the season though, but or in the off season, I should say. But yeah, that was my first time I had really seen him play. I'd seen a lot of stuff about him being a top 5 pick, and he's a top 5 pick. That's all I got to say about that. That man's a beast.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't want to play against him. But
Ohio State, I thought their defense was better, but with the same problems against Minnesota and Oregon in the beginning of the year. The run defense was terrible. That running back did whatever he wanted. Haskins had 5 touchdowns and ran for like 200 yards. He did whatever he wanted. But the thing I said in the last pod, like I feel like I wanted to pick Michigan, but I just couldn't trust them. But now they finally got the monkey off their back. Let's be honest, if they were to lose to Iowa, Michigan fans are still going to say that's a successful year since they finally beat them. Alabama, I'll say it later when we make our picks, but man, that was an ugly performance.
Yeah, it was. And I feel like they've had a couple of those.
Yeah. And like people say like, oh, Jameson Williams, he had a target in the first half. So he was out. Would have been nice if it was in the second half, but whatever. But they looked pretty shitty before he was out too. But Bryce Young being clutch, 97-yard touchdown drive. That was pretty clutch. But I do want to say this with Auburn. You're a bunch of idiots. This is why. You got a quarterback on one leg. TJ Finley, he was hurt. and he's playing like on one leg, you're in overtime. You're an extra point away from tying and going to double overtime, right? Go for two. Their offense couldn't do anything, to be honest, in the game. Go for two in the win. You got 6 wins. You're at home. You're playing against Alabama. Go for 2 in the win. And the worst part about it, in the stupid overtime rules where you trade 2-point conversions or whatever, they had a sick 2-point conversion play. They did the little rollout and then like throw it back to the tight end screen, walked in, worked perfectly. Why couldn't they have done that in the first overtime? So they deserve to lose on that one. Not the mental.
And then
What was that?
Oh, I was gonna say, I mean, everyone heard it. The announcer kept saying if Tank Bigsby would have stayed in bounds, he would have shaved 48 seconds off the clock or something.
And I said the same thing too, because he's an idiot. Stay in bounds.
Yeah, that one was rough.
That they still had a 3rd and 1 and didn't get it.
I mean,
Love a 97-yard drive, but man, it would have helped cutting 40 more seconds off the clock.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, I don't think it affects the standings that much. I feel like Bama would still get in.
I agree.
I think with the win over Georgia,
they lost last week and beat Georgia.
Right, exactly. That's what I meant. So, I mean,
for Bama, kind of that situation could add more hype to the game. But yeah, I agree. I think that would have been in anyways. I do want to say next segment, we're going to go over some scenarios, but what about Oregon? Let's just say chaos happens. Maybe they find a way and finesse in. But they would need absolute chaos.
I was about to say a 2-loss Oregon, they would need like
Bama, they would need like Michigan to lose, Cincinnati to lose, Oklahoma State to lose. Well, I guess either or with Oklahoma State or Baylor, but yeah.
I don't know. I think they're out.
I think they just need absolute chaos for them.
I feel like it's so improbable chaos that I can't even consider it an option.
I know, but they would revenge that one of the losses against Utah. So I don't know. I see them still lurking around. You never know. But what about Oklahoma State, Oklahoma? Oklahoma State, they tried everything they could to choke that game. I don't know if you watched it, but just
who ended up winning? I was watching it for a little bit.
Oklahoma State won, obviously.
Really?
Yeah.
Oklahoma was up like 2 scores when I was watching.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think what did happen that game? I don't know. I forget. I think they had like a defensive touchdown or something. But I just remember thinking like neither of these teams like wanted to win that game, to be honest. But Oklahoma State finally did, so they're lurking.
Who do they have to play left?
They got Baylor in the Big 12 championship.
Okay.
Yeah.
That should be a decent game.
Yeah, that should. It will be interesting to see like what they would do with like Oklahoma State and like Cincinnati and everything. Because I just don't trust them with the Cincinnati thing. And that is just, unless they just go out there and destroy Houston. I don't know. But
I feel like if they win, they're in. I do.
They should be. But again, it's a believe it when I see it kind of thing.
I was gonna say we've talked about it on past pods too, but I definitely feel like their success carried over from last year. You know what I mean? Like that's why they're up as high as they are right now.
I know, it's like do it again kind of thing, and then we're like we did it again, and you're like, not good enough. So yeah,
I think they'll put them in if they win.
It's a believe it when I see. I feel like they will, but like I'm still kind of hesitant on it. Like you couldn't see them. Like Oklahoma State would still have like 3 top 15 wins, if assuming they beat like Baylor. So who knows? I don't know. But next we're gonna do a little segment.
Ooh,
segment. We're calling it scenarios. What would you do? There you go. What would you do?
What would I do?
So we're just gonna go over. I guess the games that impact the most with the playoffs. We're gonna give a little scenarios. If this team wins and that team wins, who you put in it. So we'll start this off. Let's just say in all these scenarios, Oregon wins because, like I said, like we just said, need complete chaos on that one. But let's just say Oklahoma State wins. Let's say Bama wins. Let's say Cincy wins. Let's say Iowa wins. Who you putting in?
That was a lot. I definitely think Georgia's in basically no matter what happens on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
If Bama wins, I think they're in. You said if Oklahoma State wins?
Oklahoma State wins. Cincinnati wins, but Michigan loses to Iowa.
I feel like that answers your question.
Yeah.
It's Oklahoma State and Cincy.
And then, but Georgia beat Bama. So who would be the last team in?
No, you said Bama wins.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, I meant Georgia.
I'd say the last team's probably Notre Dame, assuming they win.
Yeah. So you think Bama's probably out no matter what? And
I think if Bama loses, they're out. If they win, they're in.
even if it was like an overtime game or something like that,
Yeah.
I think they should be out. But again, I don't trust them.
That's true. If it's like an overtime game and then like it's like, you know what I mean? If it's a toss up between Bama or if it's a toss up between Bama or like, you know, a Notre Dame or someone, Oklahoma State on the fringe, I feel like the committee could definitely be like, yeah, Alabama's better than them.
Notre Dame's probably the one team, if compared to like a 2-loss Bama, where I would say I could understand why they would put Bama in a way.
I agree.
Obviously, like they're better and they probably have like a better resume. And
I would be very upset, but I would also be like, they're better than Notre Dame.
Yeah, I would be upset too. I'd be like classic Bama in that scenario. All right. So let's say Baylor beat Oklahoma State. So Oklahoma State, I assume it's out. Let's say Bama beats Georgia, Michigan wins, and Cincy also wins. Notre Dame in, I'm assuming.
No.
Or Baylor. That's basically what it would be between.
I mean, wait. You said Bama wins. So in my thought process, Georgia and Bama are still both in.
Yes.
You also said Michigan wins. Michigan's in.
Mm-hmm.
And if you said Cincy win, I'd put Cincy in over Baylor.
Cincy loses in this one.
Oh, then yeah, Baylor's in. Oh, that's weird. I don't want Baylor.
That would be weird if Baylor was in.
If Baylor snuck in after all this chaos and they found their way in that 4 seed, I'd be like, that just feels wrong.
It does.
After this whole season.
It would be completely just random.
Because I feel like that 4 seed has been the whole year it's been flirting with, you know, it's Cincy, Notre Dame, I guess Oklahoma State, and then like maybe Baylor. I don't know. Oklahoma, not anymore, but at the time, I'm just saying like that's been the storyline for this season.
Yeah.
It'll be weird if Baylor like jumps a couple people to get all the way up in there.
Let's see. Try and think. There's probably one more random scenario out of these ones because it's basically between like kind of 4 games right now. Right. So let's say Baylor wins. Let's say UGA wins in this scenario. And let's just say Cincy loses and Michigan wins. The UGA and Michigan would be in.
Yeah, I was gonna say UGA Michigan's 1-2. The other 2, I feel like Notre Dame would get in that scenario.
Me too. And then basically it would be between Baylor and Alabama again.
Yeah.
Maybe Oregon. On all these scenarios, let's just assume Oregon wins.
Could you see in any way them putting in Ohio State?
Nah, I don't. Because that was okay. To be fair, that would kind of screw Bama. Because Bama's like, we have to pay an extra game.
That's true.
So that would kind of screw. I don't think Ohio State's going to be in. That would be damn near impossible. So
that's tough. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like the eye test could tell you that. You know what? I don't know about the eye test for Bama this year.
Yeah, that's the thing too.
Like usually you could be like, ah, it's pretty obvious they're the best
I think,
team or
I
something.
think
But
it obviously depends what the result of that UGA game is. Like I'm saying, if it's like a one possession game or something, they got an outside shot. But if UGA were to win by like 10 or something like that, even if it was a good game and UGA won by like 10,
right.
they wouldn't be in. I wouldn't think. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why it's always nice to see what's going on. Let me see if I can think of any other scenarios. Let's see. Notre Dame doesn't play, so.
I think the moral of the story is pretty much like if you win, you're in, especially the people who are flirting with the line.
I agree. It'll just be interesting. How about just this one? Oklahoma State wins. UGA. Let's just say top. Well, I guess UGA beats Bama. Oklahoma State wins. Cincy wins. Michigan wins. So basically, are you gonna like you personally? You said would you put Cincinnati or like Oklahoma State in?
Um, I feel like I'd give it to Cincinnati if I feel like they.
The win at Notre Dame. And that's what I
I
say.
was gonna say, yeah, they've earned that.
And I mean, Indiana's not that great, but like they still went over there, played them and beat them. So you gotta respect that. I'm just saying, if Cincinnati does not get in, we will never see, unless they expand the playoff, but we will never see a group of 5 team in. Because what else do you want them to do?
I was gonna say they lost like what 2 games in 2 years or something like that.
One game, just to us, because they were undefeated last year.
I didn't know that. Yeah, then yeah, that's what more can we do situation.
2 Power 5 teams and one that's going to be ranked in the top 6.
I feel like half of me just says like throw them to the wolves, like they have to prove that
This is
they're ready to be there.
all set up for them to be in. All set for them to be in. So if this isn't the year that that a group of 5 team gets in, they will never get in because it's all setting up perfectly. There's no huge brands. I mean, I guess, well, they beat Notre Dame head to head. So, but there's no, Oklahoma State isn't like a huge brand or anything.
Right.
It's not like it's like between them and like Ohio State or them and Bama. And, you get a little bias in there. Like Oklahoma State has no clout. And I don't know. It's all set up right there. It's literally right there for them to take it. So, but they got to be Houston. So we'll see. But let's just go in off these scenarios and do some predictions. Let's just get into it. First game, Pac-12 championship, Friday night, Oregon, Utah. Utah -3. Can Oregon get revenge?
I'm on the fence with this one. I feel like Utah kind of clobbered them last time though. So
And that was 2 weeks ago.
I was gonna say it'd be different if it was close. I don't know, man. Anything can happen. I feel like the safe bet would be to pick Utah to do it again because they already did it once. But then again, it's kind of like I don't know. That happened
twice.
The year where we won the SEC championship, we got crushed by Auburn earlier in the year, and then we came and beat them like what 28-7 or something like that. I don't know. So who knows? Depends on how the game goes.
I will say this: Utah in the Rose Bowl would be the most random thing of all time. Utah, Iowa, potentially. Rose Bowl. Talk about the most random Rose Bowl of all time.
Right.
But I'm going to go with Jordan Stein lock of the week.
Lock of the week.
Lock of the week right here. I got it right last week with Arkansas -14.5. Go me. You're welcome, America. You want to make some more money? Take Oregon +3.
Ooh.
They're getting revenge. They're gonna do it. It's hard to beat a team twice. You said it yourself, the Auburn Georgia game. I just think they'll make adjustments. And they're gonna be out for revenge. They're gonna be like, these guys screwed us over in the playoffs. We're going ham. So I think they're gonna get the dub on that one. But we'll see.
Interesting.
Yes, lock of the week, Oregon +3.
That's a pretty spicy lock. I'm not gonna lie. I just gotta throw that out there. Like I feel like a lock is when you're like, I know what's gonna happen today.
You know what's gonna happen.
Oh, that's a tough one.
That's why the lock.
No, the locks are supposed to be the opposite. The locks are supposed to be the ones that aren't tough. This is a no-brainer.
Well, maybe this is a no-brainer to me.
Okay.
Next, we got Big 12 championship. Baylor, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State -5.5. Who you got? Another scenario. Oklahoma State beat Baylor earlier in the year. I think it was like a decently close game. I don't think it was a blowout or anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say for some reason, even though the points are low, 5.5, I don't know why they kind of scare me. I feel like these are two pretty evenly matched teams, though I do think I would favor Oklahoma State. I'll probably say they get it done.
I agree, but I think Baylor's going to cover. That's what I'll say.
See, that's kind of what I was leaning towards, but I didn't know if I was confident to bet that it'll be within 5 points. That's close.
It is close, but it's kind of like around that. Like, I mean, it's one possession, so like you can say like, oh, I think Baylor could win. I think they can like beat them. It'll be a close game. Well, is it going to be a 3-point close or is it going to be 7-point close? So that's always the thing with that. But I'm going to say Baylor covers. I'm going to say Oklahoma State gets a dub. And then they'll just be waiting patiently to see what happens with the playoffs and everything. Next, we got Cincy Houston. I don't know what the spread is. I think it was Cincy 10, I believe. So is Cincy gonna? It is 10 and a half Cincy. Is Cincy gonna? Are they gonna do it?
Cincy's gonna get it done, and they're gonna roll to that 4th spot in the playoffs. That's the Walker Nunes lock of the week.
Ooh, the Walker Nunes lock of the week.
Yeah, that's never happened before. It's happening right now.
Yeah, kind of. I'm with you. I think Cincinnati wins, and I think Cincinnati covers. I think they know what's at stake at this. Now, could it be a thing where it's like too much pressure kind of thing? Like, wow, was like for a few, that little stretch they had
right
earlier in the middle of the year or whatever. But they went out and destroyed SMU, who I thought SMU was going to get the dub. I can't remember who they played last. Who did they play last week? I don't even know. I think they killed whoever it was. East Carolina. Yeah, they did. So last 3 weeks, it seems like they've been balling out. I think they do it again. Hopefully they do it again. But that would be nice to see a group of 5 team in. Add some parity, get some teams some hope. Next, this game means absolutely nothing in the playoff scenario, but the championship game, so we're gonna pick it. Pittsburgh, Wake Forest. Pittsburgh -3. What we thinking?
Pitt -3. I'm kind of rolling with Wake in my heart right now. They rattled off a couple decent wins. I kind of like them. I'm going to go with Wake upset.
I'm going to pick Pittsburgh. I'm going to say they cover 2. Their quarterback, Pickett. He's
the front runner for Heisman right now, I think.
Probably Bryce Young right now, to be honest. Speaking of Heisman, I just want to get on that real quick. Georgia beats Bama. Who's going to win the Heisman? I have no idea. If Alabama wins, then it's obviously going to be Bryce Young.
Yeah, this is a down year for the Heisman in general. I don't want to say none of them deserve it. That's not fair, but no one's standing out this year, I feel like.
And I would say that makes it a little more interesting, to be honest. Like, because I feel like
The votes are going to be close. I feel like it's not going to be like in past years where they put three people up there, but you know who's winning. You know
yeah,
what I mean? It's like this year, it's like they can put five people up there. And I'm going to be like, I have no idea until they read that name.
the last time we weren't like completely sure who was going to win the one I think about is Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey. That was
Yeah, I'd have to look at the list of winners. I can pull that up.
the last time like we were like I wouldn't even say surprised, but like weren't 100% sure you're gonna win it. Maybe Tua and Kyler, but after Tua didn't play too well in the SEC championship, it seemed like it was gonna go to Kyler.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I have no idea. Maybe Matt Corral. Maybe. I don't know.
It's just I don't know. I feel like he's just so up and down, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have no idea. But it'll be interesting. I'll tell you, I would have no idea who to pick. Assuming unless Bama beats Georgia, then it'd be pretty obviously Bryce Young, but I don't know. But like I said, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. Next, we got the Big Ten championship, Michigan, Iowa, Michigan -11. There's going to be a little bit of a hangover game for Michigan after beating Ohio State. Iowa, we know that they, 10 wins. They got to get defense themselves. What are we thinking?
That's a good question. I feel like I don't know this Michigan team, their identity well enough. I feel like to answer that question fully. I did watch them play last week. They look pretty good. I've seen Iowa play a couple times. They didn't look that good. That's all I'm going to base that off of. I'm going to say Michigan.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say Michigan's a dub, and I think they cover. I think it'll actually be like a pretty close game throughout or competitive, and then Michigan kind of pulls away. But wouldn't it be kind of classic Michigan if they lost? That'd be pretty funny.
Very, yes.
It would be kind of funny. They finally beat Ohio State, and they can't really take advantage of it. That'd be kind of funny. But here we go. Last game. It involves your background. Georgia.
What background?
That background.
This is my Lord and Savior.
Kirby Smart as Jesus. It's the football. I just know it's the football.
I thought that was just Jesus.
But Georgia, Alabama, we've been waiting for it all year. Georgia -6.5.
Really?
Yes. What is just your overall thoughts? We'll talk about this one a little longer since we know we're a little more familiar with it and it's such a huge thoughts about the game, keys to the game. Who you got?
Oh, here I go.
Just everything that you're thinking.
Yeah, everything I'm thinking is that I want to say there's no reason why we shouldn't win this game. I got to say that. But also, Bama is just Bama. And Saban is Saban. And I feel like that explains itself. They're never out. You know what I mean? Like they can pull something out. Their team is still good. They've been getting a lot of hate, I guess. Some even coming from their own fans, apparently, according to Saban, about how they're not as good as normal or something like that, even though it's like they're still elite. Exactly. Yeah. So I don't even know what to say about that.
If they were to beat Georgia, be the favorites to win the Natty.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in this constant loop of, getting my hopes up as a Georgia fan. So it's tough for me to speak on. I'm going to cry. But what I will say is like I said, I don't think there's no reason why we shouldn't. I feel like our defense is just disgusting. And although Alabama's offense is still like, they got a lot of guys, I feel like we should do enough to outscore them, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I like our chances, and I'm not sweating too much, like I said, because win or lose, we're in. Even though I'd like to be able to knock them out and put a couple other teams in there to go up against. But yeah, they've been kind of the monkey on our back, and it'll feel good to throw them off. There's been a lot of curses broken this year with the Braves overcoming one of their own, winning a championship. We had Michigan beating Ohio State. I'm just starting to think that there might be just a sprinkle of fairy dust on this season, and I want to see how it plays out. I think Stetson's been playing. I feel like he's been playing well for the most part. He'll usually make, one or two stupid throws a game, but other than that, like he plays it safe. His legs have been working for the most part. I mean, like what Kirby kind of said about his, mobility. I wouldn't consider him necessarily like he's not super fast or super athletic or anything, but like he gets the job done when he has to. So I guess I hate to say it, I kind of like what he gives us there though. I don't know. I like our chances. I really do. 6.5 is a lot. I think we could do it. We've been killing everybody we played this year. We haven't, no one's came even close, I don't think, right? What's been our closest game? The margin. Okay. Well, forgot about that one.
But that was the first game of the year.
Exactly. That one was weird. Do what? You cut out.
Starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Or any receivers, to be honest.
Anyway, with that being said, I don't know. Alabama's passing attack is tough. I said it before the Clemson game. I think that might have been our first pod, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think I said I thought the key to the game would be the pass rush. And I'd probably say about the same for this one too. If we can disrupt I'm not as scared of their running backs as years past. So I like
breaking news into the pod.
Oh God.
UGA defeats Memphis in basketball. My goodness. Memphis has like 2 lottery picks on their team. Penny Hardaway, you're a fraud. You're 0-2 against Tom Crean. You suck. You should get fired just for that. That's terrible. How? I can't even name 3 players on the UGA basketball team. You're terrible. But continue.
Where was I at? Sorry, not a big basketball guy. Can't speak on that. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not super afraid of Emma's running attack. So I guess our key comes to disrupting. We're preying on Bryce Young. Hopefully making some mistakes. He's still young. I feel like if we can get some pressure on him, make him do something stupid, that could definitely be the key to the game. And ball control, obviously, with Stetson throwing quick, easy passes, getting good chunks, rotating our running backs in the run game. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Getting 4-5 yards of carry, hopefully. Like I said, capitalizing on those mistakes. Don't do anything stupid. No muffed punts. You know what I mean? Like, just come on, guys. Just keep it clean. One game. I feel like we can do it.
Because Bama will always take advantage if you mess up.
Exactly. They will always jump right on it, and they will score if you give them a chance. If you let them breathe, they're gonna take a big old breath. That's all I gotta say. I think we do it. I think we can beat them by 7.
All right.
So I'll take my dogs. We're gonna start barking at people.
I'll say this. I don't like the vibes right now. Purely because last time we saw Alabama, they barely beat a crappy Auburn team. And UGA's been rolling. And we got everyone thinks UGA's gonna win, UGA's gonna win, UGA's gonna win. I don't like it. I don't like the vibes. And if you don't think this game's gonna be stressful, then you're an idiot. Because this game will 100% be close. It will 100% be stressful. We are not going to kill them or anything. Like this will be a close game, and it will be stressful. I don't care if Bama won every single game this year by a point. Like you said, they're Alabama. They got Nick Saban. The game's going to be stressful as hell, and I am prepared for it. With that being said, I'll say this. Let's just say the teams were reversed. Like you know what I mean? Like Georgia had Alabama season, Alabama had Georgia season. What do you think it would be at Bama -6?
I don't think I understand the question.
Like logos reversed. Bama had UGA season. They're 12-0, and they like all the same scores. They've been blowing out everybody except for the first game. UGA's got one loss. You know, had some sus games. 11-1. Do you think the spread would be 6.5? Like
Yeah, I feel like it'd be about there, or maybe a little higher.
probably be like 10, to be honest.
Yeah,
If the teams were switched, I'll be honest. I think it's basically because of the logo. And I think it's fair to say because we haven't done it yet. We've had our chances and we haven't done it. But going into that, you mentioned pass rush too. You said it in the Clemson game, and our pass rush is amazing. We had 7 sacks. Alabama's line's a little sus. They looked terrible against Auburn. So I think that's a key to a game. I think they've given up the second most sacks in the SEC or something like that, maybe first or second. So that's going to be huge. Can't have Bryce Young have any time because the receivers are fast.
exactly.
So get to them. Don't have them any deep shots. Their running back's out, Robinson, or he's probably going to be out, even if he isn't out. Like, definitely won't be 100%. So they really only have, let's just say he's out. They really only have one running back. So we don't really have to focus in, I guess, or at least put more emphasis into stopping the run, I suppose.
I'm just saying, same thing we've been doing: defense and ball control.
It just seems like everything says we should win, right? And you haven't been a Georgia fan. If you think,
Oh geez, Amber Alert.
breaking news in the pod, we got an Amber Alert. Blue Toyota REV4 2017. Be on the lookout. But anyways, it's like the little SEC little short or whatever. But the dude with the Georgia fan having the spray on the hope or whatever, like get away from me. So I'm not gonna
Yes.
get any hope. But I would say there's a lot of pressure on us too, because like we got to get up. Because imagine if we don't beat Bama, what everyone's gonna say, what the narratives will be. It'd be like, oh, Georgia still can't do it, yada yada yada. Yeah, we'll still make
Can
it.
you imagine doomsday scenario? We do beat Bama, and then we just choke in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, but if sacrificing a loss to Bama means national championship, I'll take that. But I feel like I don't want to see him again. There's our chance to take him out, get him out of here, win the playoffs. Let's do it. Like you said, Stetson's been playing well. It'll be interesting to see if we are down, if we do have to throw it a little bit more to see what's up. Bama's defense has been a little sus themselves. But Will Anderson's a beast. You said pass rush and everything. Ugh. Week 1, I said I'm going to pick Clemson because I don't want to jinx us. So in this scenario, I'm picking Bama for the same reason. For the same reason.
Get off the pod.
It's reverse psychology.
Okay.
So I'll say Bama, but it's all right there. If we don't beat them now, it's like Cincinnati into the playoffs. If we don't beat them now, then win, because it's all set up. We don't have to play them again too if we were to win, most likely. We think. Just get them out of here. This is a quote unquote down year for Bama, I suppose, and this is one of our best teams like ever. We're getting healthy. Sawyer should be back. Christmas should be back. All those guys.
Pickens.
George Pickens. We'll see how much he played. He played a little against Tech. We'll see if we get him more
Catch.
offense.
Threw it to him.
Yeah, he caught a ball, a little screen, but we'll see if he gets a little more involved and everything. But I'm gonna be a nervous wreck. But
I feel like I'm preparing myself to not be a nervous wreck, if that makes sense. I keep telling myself in my head, like,
From,
if we lose, we're still in. If we lose, we're still in. And then it's kind of like I already know watching the game, I'm gonna be in shambles. So
no, exactly. So there's not too much pressure in the fact that like we're still in, but there's pressure in the fact of like
knocking them out.
not it. This is the time to beat them. Like, right? Like,
Right.
just say we lose and then we play them again in the Natty. Like, what if just the mindset is never being these?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just want to get them out of there.
The time is now. I think James Cook has a good game though. I think he'll have a good game. Calling it.
I need everyone to have a good game.
Maybe this sets up for JT Daniels coming in the second half and leading us to victory.
That would be quite the story.
Wouldn't that just be amazing? But we don't get that luck. So
No.
that's it. I kind of wish Alabama was too, because that would just make it like kind of cooler. You know what I mean?
I agree.
But a podcast I was listening to, Josh Pate, friend of the pod, he mentioned he kind of compared it to the Alabama Florida days, like when Florida had Tim Tebow and all that kind of stuff, and they played in what, like 09 or 08 or whenever it was, and Florida kind of killed them, and then the next year Bama beat Florida and everything, and it was kind of like that game where Bama
Tim Tebow cried.
just propelled itself and just took over. So maybe this is a similar situation. We finally get over that hump, and then we never look back, and we just go on this crazy run and everything. Hopefully. So
I need to get the spray back out because the hope is coming back with that speech.
I know, but I believe in us to win, but I'm not. But like, it's Georgia, so like you never know. So it's a one of those things of like you'll believe it when you see it kind of thing. But
like I said, I mean, not only have we been winning,
now chance.
Not only have we been winning though, we've been winning like
We've looked pretty damn good.
I was gonna say we've been winning convincingly every single game. So like I said, I mean, my brain tells me and my eyes tell me there's no reason why we shouldn't.
Which is exactly which makes me think it's sus.
Exactly.
It'd be and with Alabama, like struggling with Auburn too. Like I said earlier, like that just makes it sus.
And Arkansas.
I would still like feel like Alabama would have a good, I don't want to say fan base or a good like backing up, I guess, that they're gonna win if they killed Auburn or something. But since they look close and they barely won and maybe shouldn't have won, that makes it just sus for me. I just don't like the vibes. But let's get it. Let's get the freaking dub. God, pissed.
Please.
I hate.
Like I said, please line this up to. As a Georgia fan, I want Cincy and Notre Dame both in. I feel like those are ripe for the picking. Like those are who I want to play first round because I think we got that easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry if I'm being overconfident, but come on.
I agree. I think we could. If the playoffs with Georgia, Michigan, Cincy, and Oklahoma State, I feel pretty damn good.
Oh yeah.
So just band, we got to take out the giant. We knew, we've been saying this. If we're going to win a national championship, we'll have to go through Bama at some point, whenever that point is. Happening again. Fourth time's the charm? Or third time? I don't know where we're at. Third time?
Right? I've lost count. My heart has broken.
It'd be fourth for essentially a playoff / natty appearance or win. Fourth time's the charm. Let's get it. But that'll be it for the pod. Like Walker said, not going to do NFL, just strictly college. But we potentially, I think we're going to do it live reaction Sunday to the rankings. So if Georgia's out for whatever reason, I will rage. So maybe that'll be some good content.
What time is it on Sunday?
I think it's literally like at noon. Like it's obviously before the NFL game, so I think it'll be like at noon-ish.
Okay.
But we could do that. But yeah, you got any closing remarks or anything?
Go dogs. Let's go bark at people.
I'm with you. Go dogs. Subscribe, like, notifications, follow us on Twitter, Instagram. You know it. By the way, I do want to end with this too. How about Clark with his lock of the century saying Auburn was going to cover?
That was good.
Now, what would have been awesome if he said Auburn money line and then Auburn ended up winning. That'd be crazy. But I still got to respect it because it was a hit. Easy hit. So shout out to Clark on that one.
Shout out to Clark.
So yeah, I think that's it. We'll see you boys Sunday. Hopefully
Next time with
hopefully we're really excited and not
I was gonna say the same thing. Hopefully we come back on with some really good news, guys.
oh yeah. All right. Well, that's it for
Let's
us
do this.
dogs.
Oh, my head disappeared.